I am Gustave VI Adolf, King of Sweden from 1950 to 1973, the custodian of a nation navigating through a transformative era. Born in 1882 into a lineage of monarchs, I inherited not just a crown but also a profound responsibility to guide Sweden through a rapidly changing world. When I ascended the throne in 1950, the world was still recovering from the ravages of World War II. Sweden had maintained neutrality during the conflict, but the scars of global turmoil were evident everywhere. My primary aim was to ensure that our nation remained a beacon of peace, stability, and progress. In these years, I came to see my role not as a ruler, but as a unifying symbol in a constitutional monarchy, standing above the fray of political disputes. Sweden in the 1950s was a nation on the rise, with industrial growth, progressive social policies, and an evolving cultural identity. I was particularly proud of our welfare state, which ensured that all Swedes had access to healthcare, education, and social security. It was a time of optimism, and I saw it as my duty to support the architects of this modern Sweden. Though my powers as king were limited, I believed in using my position to encourage dialogue and consensus among political leaders. I was not merely a figurehead. My passion for archaeology and history was well known, and I saw these pursuits as vital in preserving our cultural heritage. During my reign, I actively supported archaeological research, even participating in excavations myself. This not only connected me to our shared past but also allowed me to showcase the importance of history in shaping our future. The 1960s brought new challenges and opportunities. Sweden's neutrality was tested during the Cold War, as the world divided into opposing blocs. We maintained our policy of non-alignment, focusing on diplomacy and international cooperation. It was during this time that Sweden became a voice for peace, disarmament, and human rights on the global stage. I took immense pride in our contributions to the United Nations and our advocacy for smaller nation sovereignty. The social revolutions of the 1960s and 1970s also swept across Sweden. The younger generation demanded greater freedom, equality, and modernization. I witnessed with admiration how Sweden embraced these changes, leading the world in gender equality, environmental consciousness, and innovation. While I represented tradition, I understood the necessity of change and believed in balancing our heritage with the needs of the future. My reign came to an end in 1973, a year that marked both personal loss and a new chapter for Sweden. I had witnessed the monarchy transition into a purely symbolic institution, a role I accepted with humility. I viewed the crown not as a symbol of power but as a representation of continuity, stability, and service to the Swedish people. Reflecting on my years as king, I am proud of what we achieved together. My life was dedicated to the well-being of Sweden, and I am humbled by the trust and affection shown to me by my people. I leave behind a nation stronger, more unified, and more progressive than I found it, a legacy of which I am eternally proud.